Hi FlossTube, it's Diane again. I'm going to do my November update video. Before I jump in with haul and everything else, about my giveaway. Thank you all who have entered to the giveaway. I'm going to have to make a change. Excuse me. We found out yesterday that one of our sons is going to have surgery the first week in December. Specifically December 2nd. And I'm not quite sure why, but I don't know, it's kind of hitting me hard as a mom. I don't know why. It's a outpatient surgery, and it's a very simple procedure, very basic, but it's kind of thrown me for a loop a little bit. So I had originally said I would end the giveaway on the 30th and do a drawing on the 1st or 2nd. I'm going to bump that a week. I love you here on FlossTube. This is my son, and he's 5. So I'm going to be mentally. I'm going to be busy. So I'm going to just extend the date that people can sign up for the giveaway. My parents are also coming for Thanksgiving, and will be here through his surgery, so yeah, just too many things on the plate. So I'm going to just bump it. The 3 prizes that you can sign up for, and you have to comment on video number 32, not on this video. If you comment, hey, I want to be entered in your giveaway on this video, I'm going to ignore it. Go to the giveaway video, which should be video number 32, and sign up there. So the 3 prizes is, the first prize is a pattern package, and it's 2 lavender and lace patterns and 2 just cross stitch the magazine, 2 magazine issues. The second prize is Krennic storage, 2 boxes, so you can store up to 100 Krennic spools. And the third prize is bead storage. You could enter any of them, all of them if you want. You can only win 1 prize, but you can enter them. So you can check out video number 32 for more details, and I actually show you the prizes and everything. But you need to comment on that video, not on this video, to be entered into the giveaway. So I'm just going to bump out the date a little bit. So hopefully I will be able to put a results video up by December 7th and mail items out to people, the winners, by December 11th. That's my goal. Hopefully that'll happen. But I'll show my haul now. Excuse me. I've had the Ultimate Cross Stitch Fantasy for a little while, but I just picked up this one, the Ultimate Cross Stitch Christmas. And I really like these polar bears here on front. I know they show them as cards, but I don't do stitched cards. I don't really have people that would appreciate them. And all the work that I'd put into them, I'd hate for them to end up in the garbage. But the pattern that I really, really liked in this magazine was this one. This one is called Deck the Halls. It's by Susan Bates. And it says that you can also stitch these all individually to make individual ornaments. I think they're stunning all together. I saw it both ways, and I love the use of purple and red and blues. It's Christmassy, but it's not your typical Christmassy. I really like that. And I also like this one by Lizzie Kate, the Trio of Trees. Although I can't imagine, stitching all that red, and all that red, and all that red, and all that red. Although I could see this in other colors. A blue and silver tree, purple and gold, green and gold, green and silver, purple and silver. Just so many different color combinations. And these are actually, this is not a mat, this is actually a stitched line. So a stitched frame around. I'm assuming it's in Krennic or Petite Treasure braid. But yeah, I really like this one. Try to see the size. It's 14 by 28, so it's a pretty good size. And it's done on 20, this sample is done on 28 count. But it's really, really nice. I like that one. But yeah, this one has a lot of really cute patterns in it. So I really like this particular issue. Also, excuse me, Stitching Kisses was having a needle minder sale at the end of October, beginning November. And she showed this one on Instagram a little while ago, and I just absolutely loved it. And it doesn't want to focus. Why aren't you focusing? So it's the birds in the nest, and I've used it, and it's really, really nice. And then this dragonfly here. I like butterflies and dragonflies, and this one's blue. She had different colors. And she uses the rare earth magnets, so they're really nice and strong. But there's her website, stitchingkisses.com. And I'm very, very happy. I will be ordering, eventually I'll be ordering more from her. Probably not right away. Fiberlicious also had a sale beginning in November, and I had never ordered any of her fibers, but I've seen Dee Stitcher's videos regarding Fiberlicious and different projects she's used the fibers on. She does cottons and silks, and she has spun silk, and she also has filament silk. So I decided to try all three. And her website is fiberliciousyummyfibers.com. Trying to get it so you can see without a glare. There we go. fiberliciousyummyfibers.com. And this is a sample I bought. This is one of her cottons. This one's called Christmas Wishes. I actually bought 4 skeins of this because I thought, oh, I'd hate to run out. And especially if I'm doing a whole series of ornaments or something. But I thought it was really, really nice. And it is 6-strand cotton. It's 10 yards, so there's 60 yards here. And this is her a sample of her spun silk. This is Autumnal Woodland. And I just thought this one was so beautiful. I love, 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 love the colors she uses in here. I bought 4 skeins of this one too, because I have an idea of a project with this one. Roughly 48 meters on this skein. She also included this little partial skein, or maybe it's a full skein. It is filament silk, but there's no, I don't know the color. But it was a gift that she sent. That's not all I purchased from her. I'll show some more in a little bit. I've always wondered with mirabilias, if you wanted to make a working copy. You know, I wasn't quite sure how to do it on my home computer, or excuse me, my home printer, because I can only do 8.5 by 11 sheets. So this size sheet, this is just a Mill Hill bead to DMC conversion. You can get this online for free. But that is the size of paper that I can do on my printer. Well, but the pattern is bigger. Now this particular sheet, I went to Office Max, and they do have a machine that can do bigger pieces of paper for you. And this particular pattern on the underside is actually Mirabilia Christmas in London. It's part of it. It's like the first one of the sides of the pattern. So they can do this. They can also, let's say that you're doing a Mirabilia and you want her to face this direction, but the pattern has her facing this direction. Office Max and Staples can both reverse the image. So if you want them facing the other way, yes, your symbols are going to be reversed. But if they're reversed through the entire pattern and in your key, it shouldn't be an issue. And that's because I'm going to be doing Mirabilia Red, but I'm going to be doing it as a conversion in the color of blue, and I'm going to be calling her Sapphire. So I had Staples make a copy and then reverse her. So I've already done red as red. So red is facing this way, and Sapphire will be facing this way. So I'm going to call her Ruby and Red. I also had an opportunity to go to Stitchville, my LNS, and last summer I was part of a secret stitcher group, and it was ran by someone. It was a real group. It wasn't one of the fake ones. And we had one of the things that we had to do was give a pattern that was summer themed, and this is the pattern I received. Summer 4 Seasons by Lizzie Kate. And I also received the fabric, which is 28 count almond. And I just absolutely loved the variegation in the house and this whole design. So when I went to my LNS, I picked up all the Weeks Dye Works that it calls for. So I'm going to stitch this one in Weeks Dye Works rather than DMC. I did not have one, or I had all but one. No, wait a minute. That's wrong. I had one of the 11 that are called for in this design. One moment. Okay. So I needed to purchase the other ones. I think there's 11 in this pattern, and so I had to purchase 10 of them. But hopefully, I would like to get the whole series, because I like series, and she has a summer, well, obviously summer one, but autumn, winter, and spring. I like to get the whole series. And she shows on the back of the pattern that you can actually stitch them all together. But my piece of fabric won't fit all 4 of them. So I'm just going to stitch them individually. And hopefully she'll use, one thing about Lizzie Kate, she tends to use totally different fibers for every single project. That's a little discouraging. Personally, I think it's a little discouraging to have all those specialty fibers. But I do love stitching with Weeks Dye Works. I love the color variation, and they do add something to the pattern. I had this pattern before, but I found what fabric I want to stitch on it. And this is the fabric I want to stitch on it. Or stitch it on, excuse me. I had narrowed it down to Arctic. Well, in the last video I mentioned I was looking at Under the Sea fabric, but I really wanted to get this fabric, get it done, not worry about it anymore. And so I had in the store I had Arctic, Moonglow, and this fabric. And this one won. It is an opalescent, as you can tell. It's 32 count Belfast. It's called Da Vinci. And there's spots of green, some kind of gold browns, and the pattern, it kind of has a leafy type of texture to it on the dyeing process. So I think it'll look really, this will look really great on there. So that's what I picked up when I was at Stitchville. I also went to the Heaven and Earth section. I know, I have enough Heaven and Earth, I don't need any more, but I found this one. Nene Thomas. I know that she doesn't have a contract with Heaven and Earth anymore, so you could say this is an out-of-print chart. And I absolutely love, down here in her skirt, it kind of gathers, but there's little flowers there, and then up here on her bodice, it's sheer lace. It's just really a beautiful pattern. My youngest daughter saw this when I brought it home, and of course she's like, oh Mom, there's an owl, and there's an owl, and the horse, and the lady, and the skirt. So I'm thinking eventually I'll have a Heaven and Earth stitched for each of my children. I realize that's 13 of them, but this would be the one that she would want. So I thought that was really nice. And this one is not available on the Nene Thomas, or I hope it's Nene, maybe it's Nene. Her website, she doesn't have this pattern on there. And then I found this one. This is called Shakespearean Fantasy. And down at the bottom, there's Prospero, and I think it's Caliban from The Tempest, and there's Hamlet talking to the skull, and there's Romeo and Juliet. There are the 3 witches from Macbeth. When I got this home, I opened it up, and while I had a guide to this symbol is for this color, she didn't have the pages that she usually says how many skeins you need of each color, and I was kind of concerned. But I went to the website, and this one is still available on the website, so she's added those pages, and there was a link for the floss usage chart. Those are usually free to download, and this one was. So now I know how many skeins, especially, I mean, this is all black. And literally the first page is all black except maybe 100 stitches. So when it just for kicks, it actually says it takes 41 skeins of black. So when I'm ready to kit this up, I will get a spool of black from 123 Stitch, and if I remember the math right, a spool of that is equivalent of roughly 40 to 50 skeins of DMC. I have to double check on that. One of those spools is 450 meters, but I don't know if that is single strand or 6 strand. I'm not sure. So I will do that when I'm ready to kit this up. This will be for Josh, my oldest. He loves Shakespeare, and it's huge. Yeah. 450 by 867. It's big. So I have no clue when I'm going to do the Heaven and Earth. I'm not in a rush to start them. This is a quilt I'm working on for a baby. I have to put a block here. It's going to be a cathedral quilt. So I have that as my background. And I worked on that while they were hunting. And we had 7 tags to fill, and we were able to fill 3 of them. So we have some venison in the freezer. Then my finishes. This is the pattern that I received. It didn't have a cover sheet. It had proof of purchase but no cover sheet. This is the pattern, the sampler I received this month in my round robin. As you can see, it's Casey. I'm not going to butcher her last name, but you have the website right there. And Strawberry Shortcake is the sampler. And this is what how far it is. This is the row that I did with the diamonds, and you can see the frames in white. It's a nice stitch. It was really quick. Yeah, we did have a stomach bug at the beginning of November, but this guy stayed in his packaging until the stomach bug was passed. And yeah, I had no fear of anyone else getting sick. Then I stitched on him. And it's coming together really nicely. It'll look nice when it's all done. The Cross Stitch It's Fun group had a stitch along for Lizzie Kate, and this is the one I chose. Forgive Quickly, Kiss Slowly, enabled by Sherry Burkett. And it is finished. The fabric is 32 count Murano. It is by Crafty Kitten Company UK. Excuse me for one moment while I get a drink of water. Sorry, it's starting to dry out here weather-wise in Minnesota, although it's been raining and raining and raining and raining, but you know, in wintertime it gets drier. But anyway, 32 count Murano. It's called Peppermint Cream. It's by Crafty Kitten Company in the UK. It was given to me, sorry, by the lovely Sticky Stitch, excuse me. She gifted this to me just out of the blue, and oh wow, totally knocks my socks off. Now, when Sherry showed hers, she mentioned that she was worried about running out of floss. So this is the first skein, and the pattern says it should take 1 skein of 5 yards of this multicolored. This is, it's not focusing. There it goes. It says it's 5 yards. It did not cover it. It didn't. The first day I stitched slowly, the next one I stitched quickly. The words, not how fast. Third day, Forgive. The 4th day, Kiss. The 5th day, I did this motif, and I noticed I was running out of floss. So I thought, okay, I'm going to stitch this motif. And if I need to, I'll do a different color on these lacy parts. This motif came down, I got down to about 3 or 4 rows from the bottom with the first skein. Very frustrating because it says it should only take 1. And you do have a DMC option. It would definitely only take 1 skein of the DMC because DMC is 8 yards. So at Stitchville I picked up another one. Now, please realize these are actually the same company. Crescent Colors and Classic Colorworks, those are the same company and the same colors. One of them's the old name and one of them's the new name. I want to say Crescent Colors is the old name and Classic Colorworks is the new, but I could totally be wrong on that. This one I got from 123 Stitch, and this one I bought from Stitchville. They are the same color, And I actually preferred the second skein over the first skein, just quality-wise. Every once in a while you get a less than ideal skein. But the reality is, this is already pre-cut for you. If I had one more of these lengths, I could have had just one skein. So I don't know if the model stitcher had a different size skein or not, but it's done. It's complete. I'm going to make this into a cube, like Sherry did. I really liked her finish on that. And then this will go into mine and my husband's bedroom. So, I mean, we do have 13 children. Just saying. But that's a finish. I showed this one, Post Stitches, Sue Hillis Designs. These are fun. And they stitch up really quickly. The snowman helping his friend. Oh, too tight. And it's finished. The fabric is 28 count cashel. It's called Blue Whisper. And it has just a little bit of texture. I'm not sure if you're able to catch the little color variation. Not a huge amount. I thought just a subtle one. It's all DMC floss. And I'm really, really glad that Carolyn showed the pin stitch, because here are these just random stitches that are kind of in the middle of nowhere, and I used the pin stitch technique that she showed in her video. I will say it did take a little practice, but oh my, the technique I used to do, I thought it was kind of bulky, and I never really felt that it was secure. But I feel that this pin stitch, like here's one, the pin stitch fills that square even fuller than the basic X, and I feel that it's not as bulky, and it's definitely secure. So I use that on this, that technique on this project all over with the snowflakes. You probably can't see them as well. Well, there you can see them a little better. One thing on here is she had two different color lines. One was a deep or a thicker line for certain back stitching and a thinner line for certain back stitching. I know why they do that, because then they don't have to do the pattern in color, but it was hard on some spots to tell which one was the thick line and which was the thin. But as she said, you know, all snowmen are different. So these are different. They're unique. They're mine. So that one is a finish. And oh, this one is designed to fit into a open stock 5x7 frame. That's what I plan on doing. I have not gone and checked out frames yet, but that is what I'm planning on doing. I'm thinking a white or gray, you know, maybe a blue, but that might be too much. We'll see what I find. One stitch at a time. This is the white and gold version by Patricia Ann Designs. And this is the blue. The main floss color is 926 to give you an idea of the color. And it's finally finished. Yay! It is finished! I just finished it last night. These are all beads out here. So all the way around. I did all the beading last night. I'm going to do a separate video because there are 45 specialty stitches in here. None of them are the basic cross. There are many variations on the basic cross, but none of them are the basic cross. I used number 12 pearl cotton white, and number 8 pearl cotton white, and number 8 pearl cotton B5200. To be honest, they were just next to each other, and by the time I realized that I had switched the color, yeah. And you can't really tell on this particular project. The Krennic is 001L. It's a holographic silver. The purple is Mo's Sail Silk. It is called Rue, R-U-E. And the green is Mo's Sail Silk. It's called Vamo, V-A-M-O. Love stitching with her silks. The bead is Mill Hill 02022. I originally thought I might do like a purple bead or even a green, or go purple, green, purple, green. I had a purple that matched, but I didn't have a green that matched, and then I found this one in my stash, and it just totally pulls out the Krennic. So it works really, really well. So So I'll do a separate video on this one on what are the 45 stitches that are in here. To finish this one, I'm going to stretch it on the canvas and then put a ribbon around it. I've already decided that. The fabric is 32 count fabric flare fabric in a color called Stone. It's Murano. I don't know. I kind of wish I had a different fabric because of that slight color change, it almost looks a little dirty. But really it's the fabric, because if you look at the back is white. So that's how I know that it's the print. So, you know, if I did it again, that's what I would do. But I will do a separate video on this and walk through all 45 stitches so we can count them. And unfortunately this pattern is out of print because I know that some people have been looking for it. I've been looking at my LNS to see if they have it in the clearance and stuff, and I haven't found it. So I'm trying to figure out if there's another place to get it. But I do like the illustrations in here. Very, very clear. Very straightforward directions. Heirloom Burst Sampler by the Victoria Sampler for my youngest son. And it's complete. I will say if you're going to do this pattern, someone on Instagram said they're going to do this pattern. I really am glad I bought the accessory pack because it had all the silk and it had the beads and it had the little heart that you see right there. I thought it was well worth the money. I loved the heart hanger. And I changed this verse. I didn't like what they had there, so I changed it to Jeremiah 29:11. I used 2 strands of a Veriswat instead of 1. Now on my signature here I used 1, but on the lettering I did 2, and on the name, which is covered up here, I also did 2 strands. But I also had to add beads down here on this herringbone stitch. So the doesn't want to focus. There it goes. The herringbone stitch here, I had to put beads in there. And then this is my favorite band on here. It's the Rhodes Butterfly Sampler. I love that one. The satin, and then I had to put the ribbon in this particular stitch here, this row. And then you have partial eyelets and Krennic. And then the personalization. And then we have satin stitches. So we have satin here, and then we have another row that I had to put ribbon in, and then we have half eyelets, and the Krennic that goes between them. Then we get to the silk ribbon embroidery. I don't know if I like the silk ribbon embroidery. It's done. I'm not going to change it. It's unique. It's one of a kind. But I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I'm going to do silk ribbon embroidery again. I liked the roses. The roses were fine, but it's these things that look weird, in my opinion. They just look odd. The beading through silk ribbon embroidery, oh man, not fun. Not fun at all. And you had to do the silk ribbon before you did the beading according to the directions. And it wasn't really clear where the beads had to go when you were done. So I just kind of put them wherever they looked good. But I don't know. See, this has some extra over here, and it's not over here, but that wasn't in the pattern. I tried to follow the pattern. I don't know. It's done. He'll like it. It's something, you know, as an adult he can have on the wall and say, yeah, you know, my mom stitched that for me. Some burst samplers are really babyish, but this one's not. So it's done. Yay. For 2015, I wanted my daughter's graduation thing and that one, and I got both of them done. So you can hit your goals. This is another baby quilt. Again, I have to put a square, and that's going to be a cathedral one too. Excuse me. For December, the Cross Stitch It's Fun group is having a Christmas ornament, and yes, I do have the 2015. Nothing really jumped out, but what jumped out was this one from last year. And so it is the skate there. And I got a piece of fabric from Stitchville, just white Belfast, 32 count, and I'm going to stitch it with Mo's Silk Englewood. I actually have more than one of these skeins, so I'm not worried about running out of silk. But I think that'll look really nice. So I'm going to do that. That starts December 4th. Hopefully I can start that day. If not, I'll start when I can start. I also want to get this guy done. I have not stitched on him since I showed him last. I want to get him done. So he's done. Hopefully he'll be a finish next month. But I can't complain. I have 5 finishes this month. You know, I can't complain. I don't normally have 5 finishes to show you. The Venetian Opulence, my Mirabilia. I've been trying to stitch on her a half hour a day. Some days I could stitch more. Although when I got close to a finish on some of the other projects, I put her aside. I usually do that. And here's where she's at. I'm going to try and put a picture where she was at before, but here's where she's at now. I've gotten a lot of this. I think before I just had this line and like one line of this black. But I got a lot of the browns up there for this little roof thing that she's sitting under, this little arch. So my goal is to finish that, and then I'll just start at her head and I'll work my way down until she's done. She's not a really wide piece, but she is a really long piece. So she'll look really nice when she's done. And there are a lot of beads that kind of float through here, and definitely on her bodice and down into her skirt. So when I get to the beading part, that'll be fun. And Joe and Molly in their tag, which I was going to do, but I'll do that another time. Your favorite needle minder is probably that one. If I can keep the eye on the frog, he'll leave my project alone. This is 32 count Water Lily. It is Jobelin. I have a new start because I had 5 finishes. 5. So I earned a new start. Ink Circles Baroque. It's on 36 count Edinburgh. White opal linen. And I just have a little beady bit. I didn't get very far. If you're not familiar with Ink Circles design, there are multiple pages, and so I got just this little part on this one page, and I didn't go down into the next page yet. But I still love doing Ink Circles designs. They're so nice on the eyes. So I'll keep working on that, and I'm using Soie Cristal by Karen Collection. It's one of their ones. If you think Water Lilies is their variegated silk, Soie Cristal is their solid silk. And I'm using teal. I think it's 8123. I'll have to double check that. It's either 8123 or 4123. I'll have to double check that color. But that's what I'm going to use. I'm using 1 strand of fiber over 2 threads in my fabric. And then I have one more new start. Because again, you know, I had all those finishes. This one I may get done to be a Christmas gift too, hopefully. Now, I showed this before, and I don't do Halloween. I don't. But I loved the shape of this. As I was saying before my phone rudely cut me off. Oh, it's annoying. I am converting this piece from Halloween to, I've got it started here. Blue, this is Fibrelicious Under the Sea. It is one of her spun silks. So more of my haul from Fibrelicious. Here, I've just started using Mo's Sail Silk, and it's Nokomis. We have a Lake Nokomis here in Minnesota, so that's why I say it that way. If it's said another way elsewhere, then it's said another way. And then I will also, in this project, as I go through it, I will be using Mo's Sail Haymitch. I ordered 4 of these when I ordered them, and 2 of them came more gray than blue, and 2 of them were more blue than gray. I think this is the wrong one. I think I need to use the one that's more blue than gray. I'll fix it. I'm also going to use Fibrelicious. This one is called Storm Riders. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is Black Rose. This is a filament silk of hers. It's Black Rose. And this is another filament silk. It's Peridot, which the person I want to give this to, that's her birthstone. And this one is Storm Riders, and this is a spun silk. I don't know if you can tell, but there's blue and black. So I want to get that one done. And this is 32 count Lugana white opal. It's a little shimmer. So I will show that when I have that done. I've never done a conversion like this before, so it's a totally new territory for me. But using these Fiberlicious fibers, I mean, they're so soft. You just want to pet them. They're so soft. So that's what I'm going to be working on in December. The Christmas ornament, hopefully get that Biscornu done, get this one done, and then I can work on the ink circles and then my Venetian. Those won't be done in December. But if I need a new start, I have a whole binder full for my January that I can pull anything from since I'm mixing up whips and new starts. The quilt you see here is a quilt top for my husband. It's a lap size, although it's huge. And I just have to put the backing and the batting or wadding, as you say in Britain, in there. But I thank you for watching. You are still eligible to enter the drawing, but you need to enter on video number 32, not on this video. And I'm sorry for the delay in those results, but I thank you for understanding. I mean, this is my son, and he's had hearing issues, so we are trying to address them. If he needs further hearing help, we will get it for him, but that's where we're at right now. So hopefully this video will turn out. It didn't turn out last time. But I thank you for watching. I thank you for subscribing. I thank you for putting videos out. If you celebrate Thanksgiving next week, I hope you have a blessed Thanksgiving with family, friends. That's what we are looking forward to, Grandpa and Grandma coming. And I will see you. I know I have a couple videos planned. When I have opportunity to make them, I will make them and I'll share them with you. And I will see you later, FlossTube. Thank you for subscribing and commenting, and I will see you later. Have a great stitching day. Bye-bye.